Hi, it's Xavier, welcome to my bonsai retreat, and it's still only the 5th, 6th of April. You all know this one here. This was a big bending experiment, lots of Rafia. In fact, the video is fantastic, based on some advice that I think part of the advice came from Adam of Notion Bonsai. Tony, God rest his soul, he also had some input in this. In fact, save me yapping, the video is up there. Right, well, since that last clip, which you've just seen, that was when the camera actually blew off the stand and broke. So it's now been 5 more days. It's the 11th of April, and I still desperately need to get in on this and try and one, I'm going to get the Rafia off. The wire, which you'll see here, has definitely nibbled in, but it's a pine, not bothered too much about that. But we've got some nice candle production here, so what I may well do is just remove 1 or 2 of the candles where we've got 3, 4 or 5. And again, you know, with the wire, my method for removing it, just giving stabilization with the pliers, and then that means I can, one, do it safely without affecting the tree, but also salvage a little bit of wire. This is just too hard for me to be able to take it off easily without cutting it. Clearly we've definitely got some scarring there, but again, with lots of budding and vigorous growth, that won't be a problem. I suppose we really now just want to take this all off. I mean, the key thing is obviously we've got growth still happening up the top of the tree, so still getting fed. Well, there's the, well, it's very sticky.
A sticky shoe.
It's going to be an interesting texture. But I think the nice thing there is that it's going to get really a nice texture. That's going to look lovely. I might be able to take that bit off actually. Okay, well, that's all off. And bearing in mind what we did, that big split trunk on there and ripped it to pieces, I think that's going to come up looking quite good. I'll do a bit of work on that. We've got multiple candles on this up here, candles on these, so there's lots of growth up here. Very happy. What I want to do now is where we've got 3 candles coming, we've got 2 on there, 1, I think it's on this one, a great big bundle here. I'm just going to take out the middle one. And all that's going to do is, one, is stop it clumping to this great big bulbous thing, but it also means the energy is going to get distributed a bit better. And I'll go in a bit, probably in another 6 weeks time, might have another look at them. But I just want to take out the big central one. Got a few others like that. Now this is still a developing tree, so truthfully we want as much growth going up through, as much solar panels coming on to build the root system first. But I just want to reduce these to, where possible, with just the 2 candles. I'm going to let this keep growing for another 4 weeks, and probably in a very short time, like on the count of 3, we'll be zooming forward 6 to 8 weeks, I don't know. 3, 2, 1. Wow, who'd have believed it? Guess what, it's the 25th of June, and it's going to be 27 degrees today. We're actually in the week of summer, I think. I've got a bonsai barbecue organised on the 6th of July with Jason Hanrahan. I think Dan of DR Bonsai is coming up. I have a good friend Alex Braunton, and we're going to be sun all the way till that date. Guess what's happening on the 6th of July? Apparently we're going to have raindrops falling on our heads. So anyway, we'll see, but yeah, looking forward to that. But here it is, and like, wow, it is healthy, loads of growth, and those candles have now extended easily 9 inches, and I need to do something about that. I mean, what I will say is this thing is definitely not going to be winning any beauty prizes, but then I don't suppose I am either.
I think you're beautiful.
What I will say is there's the scarring that you've literally just seen. Already this side is pretty well leveled out and healed. Here, that's healed over. Here, it's still a little bit deeper, but that is going to continue to heal. And that is what I love so much about these rough bark type species. In the end, you can have these wire scars, and so long it's healthy, they will slowly work over until eventually we're going to get this bark on them anyway. So never fear if you get those sort of wire marks. Now, I'm sure you've all guessed that this was as much an experiment as anything else. It was a pretty ordinary bit of material, and if you go back all the way to, well, I think it was the 3rd July when I was with Tony and Adam and Jason Hanrahan at the Bonsai Extravaganza, you know, there weren't loads of exceptional solutions. I'm really happy with how much this has budded out, but in terms of that idea to try and get some extreme bending on it, the thing has slowly straightened on itself, and I've had a little play, so to speak, and if I do too much movement on that without it being properly protected with rubber or more raffia, that's just going to crack further. So I have to accept that though, yeah, that side successfully continued to push through sap and growth and strength, it's probably pretty limited for doing much with it. So what I'm going to do is whack absolutely ton loads of wire on it. Does that surprise you? No, of course it doesn't. Am I going to put raffia on it? No. This is, I'll tell you where this tree is. In fact, let me show you where I think the tree really is. This is dead straight. That's an odd angle. I've got very limited flexibility, and yes, I know there's people out there saying, yes, wrap it up, you can really bend it hard. And all I'll say to you is that with my experience level and the materials I've got available, right now I can't do that, and I have had some flexing, and I've already heard a little bit of cracking. That's pretty well as far as I'm going with that straight bit, which means I've got to do some realistic expectation management. That's a good way of putting it, isn't it? Management speak. My tree could well be, and I think I might have mentioned it before, this part here, running all there, and that is where I'm actually going to be concentrating on. But that doesn't mean to say I can't have a little bit of fun with some bending, perhaps bringing this down over here, and just see if I can do something really wacky. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, where we've got all these extra needle pairs, I'm just going to pluck all those off, and the reason for that is so that I can apply the wire. Now think about the directions I'm going to be bending this, because obviously I want the wire coils to go in the direction where I'm going to be bending and rotating. Knowing me, I'm bound to get some of it wrong. So when you come back, hopefully this will be absolutely covered in wire. But remember, this we're going to have fun with. Potentially this is what I'm going to wire to be the future of the tree, and that will end up getting cut down there, depending on how this all works out. And just to give you a look at what it looks like once all those needles have been taken off, I've removed all the needles from different areas. What is nice is we get to see little buds here, and in various spots, like here, I've got 1-2 buds around there that are pushing out, and they're going to be the future if I keep this part of the tree. But it now means that basically all around here, got another one here and here, I'm free to add wire. Not sure that's going to be much use, but it won't be. Right, let's get rid of it. Okay, let's get the wire on. Okay, well, I've got all the wire on, and I forgot how sappy and sticky these things can be. And now it's just about, well, you can see I've already put a little bit of bending in stuff, and it's really just about working out. I put a branch around the back there, and I'm still working on the assumption that maybe I can just get something a bit unusual but still has all these features in it. So and again, the main thing is I need to get the new candles all pointing upwards, because I'm still hoping that I'm going to get some budding back from old wood. Putting lots and lots of odd bends and twists and shape in there. Now what I will say, been a little bit clumsy up here. I've actually broken off something that was here, so I need to do a bit of manipulating and bending around here. It's very hard, to be honest, for me to sort of describe the bending I'm doing. So what we're going to do is, there it is now. I'm going to have a little play with it and show you what it's looking like when it's done. Okay, well there you go. I've put a load of wire on, done lots of bendy wendies and stuff like that. Perhaps it's hiding stuff or trying to create something. As I say, I'm still looking at potentially everything on this side being the final product, but I think I've spread everything around. All I've got to do now really is all these candle extensions. I now need to cut them right back, because otherwise if I don't, what will happen is on the end of these new buds will form. I'll have all this great length, and unless I'm looking to do some more wiring with it next year, that's useless. So I am literally now going to be cutting back to probably 5, 6 leaf pairs. Certainly in the lower ones I'm happy for it to be longer, so something this long I'm going to cut all the way back to there. And I'm going to go around all those and do exactly that now. What that means is obviously we're going to get our new buds coming from the end points, but there's going to be a lot closer in terms of your internodal distance. If that makes sense. Sure it does. So we've got a nice big long one here. Cut that right back to there. Same here. And the only thing is to make sure that we've obviously got some needle pairs behind it. On here, got a bit of disadvantage because we've got this long length here with no needle pairs. They got stripped at some point, so just back to there. This great big long one here. Okay, we've got here. Cut those back. Cut those back. Here, same thing, right back, right back. Well, there you go. I'm really happy with that. Yeah, this is ugly. We've got some horrible bending here. I can't do anything more about that. But I am interested to see what I can do and what I can develop with future buds from this stuff here. If it remains healthy, it'll back bud. And we'll see just how far back we may well get some new budding from this. And as I say, worst case, I'll cut here and I'll concentrate on this right hand side. So there it is. Nothing to scream home about, but I think it's an awful lot better than it was when we looked at it right at the beginning.
Are you looking at the same thing I'm looking at?
So we'll have a look at this with a lot of interest. Well, some interest anyway. Interesting there from that. I mean, if I ignore the fact that I've got the scar on the back, there's potentially a tree somewhere in there actually. Tell me what you think in the comments. Again, as I say, again and again, you know, pine, juniper, they're all still trees that I'm learning to get better with. Hey, I'm happy. So, got some more pines to be doing. I'm going to give you a little glimpse so you can see what sort of things you can expect, because there's 2 big projects that one definitely I know you'll like. So let's quickly skip in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's this one. Now, well over a year ago, I started a collaboration with Kenneth de Bon of KDB Bonsai, and again, it was a really difficult pine which we wanted to play with, and he gave me all sorts of advice, and there's a video about it up there. And I think the main thing we discovered between us is that this one needed to develop a lot more candles and get a lot healthier. And if you go back and have a look at that video, you'll see in just what poor state this was in. But now I've got to style it into some sort of final idea of where we're going with it. And there's still the big issue. This U-bend here, it hasn't really been resolved by the tension wire and stuff. But we've got so much more fresh growth now. I definitely need to go back and certainly prune back some of these candles, doing exactly the same thing you've just seen. But that's coming up in a future Scots Pine collaboration video. And just to reassure you, I've actually got a couple of other pines to be playing with well, that you may well see in either a bonsai for breakfast or as something to have a look at during the cold winter. I'll just show you what sort of things they could be. I've got 3 or 4 now like this one. Again, suddenly this year they've really put on loads of growth. I think it's because basically I left them last year to do their own thing. They're still quite thin. I mean, that's probably 2 pencil thicknesses. And these were all little 2-year-old saplings I bought back in 2017, 2018. And really haven't done anything. I did a little bit of initial wiring, but as you can see, probably a long way to go. So got this as well, and I've got 2 or 3 more exactly like these, all need to be heavily wired up and initial designs and shapes put in place. But that's something for you to look forward to in probably Bonsai for Breakfast. Anyway, if you've enjoyed all this sort of look into pine, then please, a big thumbs up. As I say, we're in the early to starting towards the middle of summer. This is the ideal time to be cutting those candles back. And really the proviso is the tree's got to be healthy. You're certainly not looking to thicken a branch or anything like that. What you're trying to do is get new buds coming a lot closer in. So you can basically, you've got something like this, you can new growth, go back to 2 or 3 sets of needle pairs and literally take off 7/8 of the candle and you'll get new budding from there. So that's really the main thing you can do. Certainly you can whack your wire and do a bit of bendy-wendy, but otherwise, like me, enjoy your bonsai. If you haven't subscribed, well, hey, that's up to you. I'm really not putting any pressure on you. Well, not too much. But if you do know of anyone else who'd like to see stuff about pine, then please, I'd ask that you share this on social media. Otherwise, just keep enjoying your bonsai. It's a great time to be working. That's if it's summer anyway. If it's winter, it's a great time to be eating and drinking. So from Xavier, thanks very much for watching. Happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.